Coming up on the Sports Desk, this week's showdown between two Torrance schools. Can the Tartars keep pace for first place in the Pioneer League, or are the Saxons going to take a stranglehold on a guaranteed playoff spot? And somebody who knows plenty about winning in Torrance, how the El Camino Warriors signal caller went from full-time on the baseball diamond to a two-sport athlete at Elko. Plus, we wrap up Breast Cancer Awareness Month on the Sports Desk. Pink dominates the court and the field every October, and athletes get in the mix all over Torrance. The impact of a nationwide phenomenon felt here at home. All that and more right here. The Sports Desk starts now. What's up, Torrance? Welcome to a new week on the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Wan Hernandez. Today, we start with the matchup of the week. West Torrance flying through an undefeated season. South staying hot on their heels after dropping the first Pioneer League game of the year to Torrance, who entered their Week 8 meeting with North, holding an undefeated Pioneer League record and share of first place. North also hot on their heels. All four Torrance schools within a game of each other in the standings, which promises a wild finish in the last month of the season because only 3 are promised a CIF playoff berth. This week, that battle for a spot in the postseason takes place at North High, so let's get after it. North, Torrance, coming in. First quarter, 9-0 Saxons. Chris Kawhi drops back and tosses the fade route to Justin Allman for 6. Allman coming off a huge 2 TD night. Saxons 16-0. Ensuing drive into the second quarter, Tartars march down the field and Tyree Harris gets the ball in for his first score of the night. He'd finished with 2 TDs and 200 yards on the evening, continuing his monster October, 16-8. Later in the second now, the Tartars working on a comeback. Vince Huey looking deep, but Chris Kawhi steps in front of it. He snags his second INT of the night and third for the Saxons just in the first half. Next play from scrimmage, Brandon D. Ocampo races down the sideline, and he might be gone, but no, he's not. Somebody's going to catch him just inside the red zone, and that's going to set up Mike Juarez, none other. He's going to get the pass out on the flat here and muscle his way in. Juke. He's in for 6. Juarez with the mellow night, but still gets the TD, and he gives us the fight on. Could he be telling us where he's going? I don't know. Saxons take a 23-8 lead going into the half. Fourth quarter now, same score. Rock Hollis looking to lead his team to a comeback. Tyler Masuli going to make the catch over the middle. Great athletic play. And he rumbles inside the Saxon 10. That would set up another Tyree Harris touchdown. And the Tartars are in business now, behind just 23-15 after a 16-0 deficit in the first quarter. Last chance for the Tartars. 3 seconds left. Huey gonna heave it downfield. But guess who's gonna step in front of this one? None other than Mike Juarez with the acrobatic catch for the Saxons' fifth pick of the night. Defense saves the fourth quarter comeback effort for the Saxons.
Yeah, they battle. The chips are down, and you think things are, guys go out, your guys you're counting on all the time, and the guys who fill in have done a good job. So we had a lineman that was out, that's played every game up until now, and guys stepped up for that. And then same thing when Chris goes down and Mike's out at the same time, guys fill in and then they give their best. So.
Interceptions making up the difference in this one. Like I said, 5 total from the Saxons D. Chris Kawhi has 2 INTs in the first half before sitting out much of the second half with an ankle injury. The Saxons unable to get any more points on the board once he came out of the game. But on defense, they provide a game plan to top the Tartars, allowing Tyree Harris to get his. He got 200 yards on the ground with 2 TDs, but they only allow another 89 yards of total offense to the rest of the team. The win ties North for second place and that guaranteed playoff spot, but more on that later on. Now, a week ago, Greg Holt told us the key to the Warriors' success, the deeper they got into the season, is the contributions of other athletes not named Brett Oji. It wasn't a dig at the running back who'd compiled 20 touchdowns and over 850 rushing yards through 7 games, rather a reality check of just how stacked the Warriors roster is in support of number 2. Holt's QB and top wide receiver got the memo in this one, combining for 6 touchdowns in the Warriors' 49-0 win over Centennial. Trevor Mallett had to throw the ball just 7 times on the night, going 5 of 7. So the Warrior offense working efficiently toward a perfect season. They've now scored 40 points or more every game in October after the blowout at home. Their 14-point win over North is still the closest anybody's come to beating West. If you eliminate that game, the Warriors are winning by an average of 29 points every Friday night, and just 2 teams left trying to put an end to their undefeated campaign. The next team to take a crack at the Warriors will be South against Lawndale. They get 4 plays of 60 yards or more, all leading to touchdowns. The highlights of those long TD plays came from special teams. Carl Richardson took a kickoff 94 yards for the score, and Bailey Biazovich returned a punt 67 yards for a special teams touchdown, adding to the 68-yard TD reception when he linked up with Gabe Zuniga. Zuniga tosses 2 touchdowns on the night and rushes for 1 himself. So with 2 weeks left in the regular season, that sets up a 3-way tie for second place in the Pioneer League. All 3 teams just 1 win behind West for that outright league title. November 7th will be the night when everything gets crazy. All 4 Torrance squads facing each other on senior nights at North and West High. Meanwhile, in the South Catholic League, Bishop Montgomery wins their league opener. Flashback to September 19th. After a 37-6 loss to El Segundo, Bishop had started their season 1-3 and scored just 20 points through their first month of football. Since that night, the Knights have stormed back to post a 500 season record, averaging over 34 points a night along the way. Austin Garvey tosses 3 touchdown passes to Chris Hughes, and Carter London pounds out 130 rush yards on 18 carries. All right, everybody, coming up, Elko football is a couple bounces away from the verge of a state playoff berth. Meet one of the athletes leading them through a season with its fair shares of ups and very turbulent downs.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
my legs, sometimes they'll go numb.
Had double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence, I'm not going to discount it, but at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
I know what it's like to grow up in a world that looks at you very differently. Every day, many children with physical imperfections and deformities courageously face the world. Together with the Caring for Kids program from the Plastic Surgery Foundation and the Hannah Storm Foundation, there is hope. With your help, these children can get the medical procedures they need, regardless of their ability to pay. Help a child in need at thepsf.org/kids.
Hi, welcome back. When you think of 2-sport athletes, it's easy to throw back to Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders. Bo was the Paul Bunyan of sports, literally running over NFL defenders in his prime, then breaking maple bats over his knee in the summer. Here in Torrance, Joey Notch enjoyed the same sports without the bat breaking at West High. In his senior season, he led the Warriors to a CIF championship game, then took them to the playoffs on the diamond as the team's catcher. Then he disappeared. Like many other 2-sport athletes, and unlike Big Bo, Notch had to choose between the sports he loved, which took him on a journey out of Torrance and back home again. Colin Kushner has that homecoming tale for you.
After Joey Notch graduated from high school, he gave up football and was recruited walk-on to the University of Arizona baseball team. But after only 1 semester at the U of A, he headed back to the South Bay so he could play both.
I've never played a sport full year-round, so when I went to U of A, it was fall. You're playing baseball, and I wasn't used to that. It was a little rough at first, coming back from going a year-round baseball, going straight into football without work the rust off.
For Notch, it was different playing one sport year-round. At West, he was used to bombing passes on the football field in the fall and hitting line drives on the baseball diamond come spring. Not having a scholarship was a big reason for him coming home, and his passion for football still lingered.
I miss football. I'd always watch my highlights. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I missed it, so I was like, I want to come back, play football, play baseball, hopefully get a scholarship out. It was actually one of the reasons why I wanted to come back. I mean, financially it was tough for me out there, but one of the reasons was I wanted to try football again.
Back home, he had a successful first season with the El Camino baseball team, batting just under 300 with 14 RBI. So he took that success on the diamond to the gridiron.
He dropped in front a little bit.
The man with the beard, rocking his usual number 10, is the team's starting quarterback and has impressed Coach John Featherstone.
He's a tough young man. I saw that when I went and had a chance to go over and see West play. And he's a great athlete. He's a baseball, football guy. And he's fearless, and he's a smart player.
When his time at El Camino is up, the 20-year-old hopes to get a scholarship somewhere to play either football or baseball. Notch knows that he will have to choose one sport at the next level, but one thing's for sure, his passion for both will never go away. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Colin Kushner.
Thanks for that, Colin. Joey's current assignment for the fall, get the Warriors back on track. Twice this season, Elko lost home games in the final drive with questionable calls by officials, leaving their season hanging in the balance. But the show must go on, so Elko was still on the hunt for their first home win of 2014 with Harbor coming to town. So let's get after it at Seahawks Stadium. Elko coming off their bye week. Second quarter here, Elko up 9-0. Joey Notch drops back and finds his old West buddy Nicky Roos for the 14-yard TD. Third quarter, 16-7. Notch finds Roos again for his second TD reception of the game. Elko takes a commanding 23-7 lead. Later in the third now, Harbor running back Darren Walker punches in the short TD run. Harbor cuts the lead down to 9. Fourth quarter, 30-14 Elko. Tyler Sestich finds Mike Andrews for the score. The 2-point conversion is good, but that wouldn't be enough. The Warriors hang on to win this one, 30-22. Elko gets their first win at Redondo Union, snapping a 3-game losing streak. So this one comes down to the wire again, but finally Elko's able to hang on for that first win at home in 2014. Notch goes 16 of 33 for 163 yards and 2 TDs, both touchdowns going to longtime teammate Nicky Roos. Elko has leads of 16 points 3 different times in this one before finally closing it out. This time the Warriors don't get snake bitten on the deciding drive. Elko has now won 4 of the last 5 over rival Harbor College. On the volleyball court, the Warriors maintained their 1-game lead over Cerritos College. They pick up their 7th SCC win in a row, still yet to lose more than 1 set against a South Coast Conference team in the final week of October now. Cerritos will have a chance to end that streak this week when the Warriors go on the road. The last time the Warriors gave up a set to a South Coast team was September 17th. North Torrance alums Kim Haney and Nicole Echeverry led the way against Pasadena with 27 combined kills. Also in first place on the Elko campus, the Warriors soccer team continues their hot October. After an early week draw against Cerritos, they get another draw against Mount Sac. The 1-1 tie avenges Elko's only loss of the season back on September 30th when the Warriors dropped a 2-1 game to the Mounties to kick off conference play. That gives Elko a 1-point lead over Mount Sac for first place in conference. Charlie Gonzalez took 4 shots on the day, but it was his assist of a 79th minute equalizer that highlighted the game, allowing Elko to avoid their second loss of the season. So the Warriors keeping their pace atop the South Coast Conference with back-to-back draws. Remember, Elko started their season out with 4 consecutive draws, earning their first win just under a month after the season opener. All right, everybody, coming up, one more break. Pink is the hottest uniform color every October. The Sports Desk explores how Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a hit around the South Bay.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Chris Domine is a husband and a father. Chris is an athlete. Chris is even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris was facing a very different story because his kidneys were failing.
Basically, the doctor said, if you don't get a kidney transplant and if you don't do dialysis, you are going to die.
Fortunately, Chris received a second chance at life, made possible by an organ donor.
You know, your well-being changes, you know, from loss of hope to hope to better times ahead.
More than 100 million people in America are registered organ, eye, and tissue donors. People of every age and ethnicity, because they believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine what you can make possible by leaving behind the gift of life. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Welcome back. For 6 years now, the NFL's Crucial Catch campaign has been on the forefront of sports' role throughout Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Every October, game-worn jerseys are auctioned off. Athletes don pink socks, wristbands, and anything else you can think of in an effort to raise awareness for the disease that will kill 40,000 women in 2014, according to the American Cancer Society. Right now, it's estimated that 2.8 million women are surviving breast cancer in the U.S., with lung cancer standing as the only greater cause of cancer death in women today. Those statistics have brought on a wave of support and education in the fight against cancer, and ever since the NFL took on their mission to fight the disease, October has been accented with pink on courts and fields everywhere. Colin Kushner has the story on Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Torrance Takeover.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is an annual campaign to help increase awareness of the disease. Professional sports have played a huge role raising money, one of the biggest catalysts being the National Football League, which teamed up with the American Cancer Society and has raised $7 million since the Crucial Catch campaign began back in 2009. But you see, repping pink and raising awareness is just as big here in Torrance's own sports scene. As you can see, the entire gym here at Torrance High School is decked out in pink, including the outline of the volleyball court. The Torrance Chargers held their annual Dig for Pink volleyball game for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Even though they lost to Pioneer League rival West, it was still nice to come together for a good cause.
We just want to bring more awareness to other people and support. Even some mothers out here have breast cancer right now, and we just want to show them that we support them and we love them.
We do it every year. There's actually over there is a wall of everyone, people who know who have either died from it, surviving from it, all of that. So there's a lot of people closely related. One of our freshmen's mom actually just started chemo on Monday. So this year particularly, it's been pretty tough and special for us, which is why we kind of went overboard on the decoration.
Signs filled the entire gym supporting all who have dealt with breast cancer and for those that have passed. Both Torrance and West rocked their pink jerseys for the game, and with October winding down, Coach Squire hopes to reach their goal of raising $2,500. Meanwhile, at the UFC gym in Torrance, they had their own day dedicated to raising awareness. All members were encouraged to donate at least $1, which would raise about $10,000 for the Avon Foundation for Breast Cancer Treatment. Plenty of UFC gear signed by Lyoto Machida was auctioned off, and they also had raffles, casino tables, and much, much more, all for a good cause. The fight against breast cancer continues, but it's events like these that really makes a difference in our community. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Colin Kushner.
Thanks, Colin. You can still make a donation on behalf of either of the local groups. Torrance Volleyball's Dig Pink donations can be made on their website through the Dig Pink link. All of UFC Gym's donations go to the Avon Foundation. They were able to raise over $2,000 with their cardio-a-thon and casino night on Breast Cancer Awareness Day. And if you missed either event, there's never a bad time to help out in Torrance. Now, on the golf course, 3 Torrance golfers advanced to the CIF individual finals. North's Cindy O shot a 74 at River Ridge Golf Club in Oxnard, followed by classmate Haley Tigert's 75. Torrance's Nina Navia advances to the finals on her 76 as well, with West High's Casey Torres narrowly missing the cut after shooting a 78. Torres tied with 11 golfers, all vying for that final 9th spot, and eventually was knocked out in a 9-hole playoff. Now, before we say farewell for the day, time to pass along how you can get in touch with the Sports Desk anytime. We're always just an email away when you have a great story idea, you want to invite us out to a game, or just feel like saying hi. You can also catch our Facebook page for random updates and photos from games all over Torrance anytime. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up another week on the Sports Desk. We'll see you next time.